built companies, led teams, developed people across multiple markets, multiple industries. He was a professional athlete in the Colorado Rockies in the Boston Red Sox organizations, where he learned discipline, resilience, and elite performance. And he's a friend of mine. Joshua, welcome. How are you, sir?
Dan, good to see you, buddy. It's been a little bit, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a few days, but it's good to reconnect with you and catch up. So Joshua, so today we're talking about the about burnout
Yeah.
and what why burnout causes us stress. Tell us a little bit about what does burnout mean to you?
Well, I would say that as an entrepreneur, all of us have experienced burnout in our business at some point in time, right? Whether it's at the beginning of the year, whether it's the middle of the year, whether it's the end of the year. But I think one key phrase that I think is really important for us to understand about burnout is that we do not actually get burned out because of what we do. Right? Whatever industry you're in, you're not getting burned out because of what you're actually doing. The reason why we experience burnout is because we forget why we're doing it. Why did we get into the industry? Why are we so like, why was that the specific thing that we were chasing for so long? Why is it important for us to reach our goals? Why is it important for us to reach those ceilings that we were going after, right? And when we forget our why, we get caught up in the day to day, we get caught up in the losses, we get caught up in the setbacks, we get caught up in all the distractions. That's when burnout happens. And so I think that's really what I have noticed and recognized with the people that we get to lead, that I get to be in partnership with, is that whether it's them feeling burned out or me feeling burned out, it's not because of what I'm doing in the industry. It's not because of the industry that I'm in or whatever I'm serving in. It's because I forgot why we were doing it, or they have forgotten why they're actually serving in that industry.
So why do so many businesses fail in execution even when their idea is solid, right? So you're talking about like we do burnout and we get burned out because of the fact that we forget why we're doing what we're doing, right? But then there's a lot of the disconnect in between why we're doing what we're doing and then the execution of the plan. So what's the gap in that?
Well, I think we could break that down to a lot of things. And interesting enough that we're talking about that specifically because I literally just had a meeting with my leadership team this morning, and I was talking about the difference between instant gratification and delayed gratification, and how important it is for us to recognize the instant gratification that's going on in our lives and delayed gratification that's going on in our lives. When we create goals and we create systems that delayed gratification is the only thing that you're going to experience. If you don't have like instant gratification at any point in time in your life, it is very hard to keep a vision on the future. It is really hard to and seeing like, hey, from 12 months from now, that's what winning looks like, right? And so we do have to have a little bit of a combination of both of these. But one thing that I've recognized is that we often spend too much time trying to find instant gratification. We're too much time in that it's like, hey, I just want to see the quick result. I want to see the quick win. I want to and here's what we know, Dan, is like if you want to build an amazing business, if you want to have a lasting business, those seeds that you have to plant have to go so deep compared to what they're going to go experience when it comes to those fruits of it at the beginning, right? We all know about bamboo shoots, right? When you plant a bamboo tree, you don't even see a sprout for 5 years. But as soon as you see that thing sprout, within 6 days, that thing can grow 4 feet a day once it starts to sprout. But for 5 years, you're not going to see anything, right? And we forget that with our businesses is that the deeper they're rooted, the more consistent we have with our systems, the things that we're putting in place and are repeatable and taking those action steps, we actually start to see long lasting wealth in our life. We see long lasting success. And so the one thing that I was talking with my team about was not only the difference of that, but also this idea of because we have delayed gratification, we also have delayed gratitude,
Mm.
right? So if we're in a season right now, as a real estate agent, I mean, is it safe to say that our industry has been disrupted over the last 3 years massively?
It has massively been disrupted.
Yes, and we're going to go into 2026 with another thing. Something else is going to happen. We know that. Zillow is imploding. Now, will Zillow ever go away? Probably not. It's got so much money behind it, but it is imploding in so many areas right now. There's going to be a disruption to the industry next year, guaranteed. Hands down, it's going to happen. But if you're focused on that and you're so worried about that and you're not experiencing joy in the moment, you're going to miss out on an entire year. right?
Yeah.
And so if you look at back at 2025, that's one thing that we're looking at with people is like, okay, so what were the good things that happened this year? What were the challenges that you faced? Talking about delayed gratifications, what were the things that you're going through in January, February this year that you've now been able to experience because it's November, December of this year? And it's amazing how agents, they just light up. They put pen to paper, they write it down, and they start to expose like, okay, this was what actually was delayed. This is why this is so important because now what I have some stability in my business going forward.
Yeah, one of the things that I talk about is celebrating the activity
Hmm.
rather than the outcome. And so, as a real estate agent myself, as a broker, I celebrate, did I do my job today
Hmm.
versus did I have a closing today? And so I think far too many of us celebrate the wins, right? Those feel good. You made some money, you helped the people, you help some people. But you recognize that first of all, in the real estate sales industry, at least, I mean, there's people that do it that have closing every single day, but that's so rare,
Yeah.
right? And so the time in between, the gaps in between the closings, first of all, that is it's a long time sometimes for some, or it's at least a little bit of time. And then understanding that the activity that you do today, even if you're not building a business, even you just want to be a salesperson and you say, I'm going to start selling homes in whatever state today, and I know exactly what to do. In best case scenario, if you know what to do and you do it, best case scenario is 90 to 120 days before your first paycheck, right? And so even in the best case scenario, it's still delayed. And so what I've trained myself and what I train others is say, look, let's celebrate the activity.
Yeah.
Did you do your job today? Right. And the job description that I have for a real estate agent is, did you do the 5 activities of CPI time? Lead generate, convert the leads to meet with you, attend the meetings for the purpose to get hired, negotiate and practice your description role play. Did you do that today?
Hmm.
So when you do that every single day, 5 days a week, you have an outcome. What are your thoughts about celebrating the activities rather than the outcomes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really brilliant way to think about that. I mean, in fact, it's kind of I say it in a little bit different terms, but it's one of the three things that I'm going to share with people about how to get yourself out of a rut right now. If you're feeling that burnout right now, what are the three things that you can actively do right now? But yes, you have to experience the small wins. You have to find joy in the moment, regardless of where you're at successfully. Because here's the thing. I mean, Dan, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong on this, but um, when you reach a certain level of success, a pinnacle that you are like, hey, that's the mountaintop, I'm going to get there, right? And you have done this time and time again. You recognize when you get up top that there's always another mountain range. And there's always another level of success. So if all you're banking on is that I will find joy and happiness when I have success there, you're going to be sadly disappointed because you'll never be fulfilled, right? And so you're right. You have to be able to enjoy the activities. And that's one of the things is that if the activities that you're doing, so all those 5 things that you talked about, you have to find joy in every one of those activities. How do you find them to be actual fruitful and enjoyable? Because then you'll know that you'll actually do it more if you have that mindset.
Yeah, and I also think that as you focus on this, it's what are you going to focus on in regards to the activity, right? And then celebrating that right there, and then knowing to say when I celebrate the activity, like what is my goal? I'm going to put together what is my goal, and then I'm going to say how am I going to get there? So the goal would be your vision.
Mhm.
How are you going to get there would be your mission, and then focus on that day to day and not even worry about the goal, not even worry about the outcome. Because when you focus on the activity day to day, you'll get that outcome. You
Yeah.
mentioned something, Josh, that I want to talk about is like when you get to the pinnacle, when you get to the top of the hill, there's always another hill to be able to climb. I've had that experience when I was younger, a younger entrepreneur and a younger salesperson. I used to always focus on how can I be number one? How can I be number one? How can I be number one? And then I realized, wait a second, is that a business? Is that a business proposition that I'm giving to myself, or is that an egocentric
Yeah.
thing that my DNA is driving me on? And I realized it was all ego. And so once I realized it was all ego, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to stop looking at the ratings. I'm going to stop looking at my competitors because
Mhm.
here's the reality of it. First thing is there's only one number one person in the country. Whoever that is, I don't even know who it is. There's one number one.
Mhm.
Whoever that he or she is, they're only going to be number one for a short period of time, and then somebody else is going to be number one. right? So even if you get to that pinnacle, there's still it's only a short-term experience. And I was like, you know what? I bet if I ever get to number one, someone's going to tell me. So I don't need to worry about it anymore. So
Mhm.
now I just worry about like, okay, what's the healthy activities I can focus on? And that's what's helped me to manage my burnout of I just need one brick a day to build a house, just one brick a day. Did I lay a brick today? Did I put the mortar into that brick? Did I set the foundation for the next step? And that's what I focus on.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we all know, right? Your results in life are the lagging indicators of all the habits and the processes that you put in place, right?
What's the biggest lies that we tell ourselves about hustle and productivity?
Um, oh man, that's a good question, buddy. What are the biggest lies? I would say that the more that you hustle, the more productive you'll be, and that's not the case. I think if that's what you're focused on is all about productivity, you're lying to yourself that you're creating a life that you'll love. So those are the two that kind of just that stand out to me right now.
How do you get productive without the hustle?
Well, I mean, I think that there's seasons in life. I think that one is that I mean, there's no replacement for work, right? And I do feel like you have to work. When you have like, I mean, think about this in competition, right? Everybody talks about just like, hey, we want to be more efficient, which is good. And that's, AI is coming into play in that. You have people, you have people that you hire. All of that is really good. But when you are at such an elite level where everybody else is really talented, take professional sports or just take the top of the top, just like you were talking about, like take the top five real estate agents that are out there. Um, the only difference between you and their teams or you and them is that somebody's going to outwork someone. So I do believe in tremendous hard work, right? I mean, because you're going to have the systems in place, you're going to have the AI in place, you're going to have the teams in place, right? You're going to have the leadership in place, all that stuff like that. But you do have to work extremely hard, right? And when you work extremely hard, focused in one area, there's a saying that are you Dave Ramsey fan at all?
Sure, absolutely.
So Dave Ramsey, there's a quote by Dave Ramsey that I put on. I've moved offices like 6 times in the last like 8 years, and every office that I go to, I put this on the wall. Like that is literally like it's not getting removed from the wall. So whoever else goes into that office the next time is going to experience this quote. But his quote is just right up here. It says, "Focused intensity over time multiplied by God equals unstoppable momentum."
Mm.
Focused intensity over time. That resonated with me in my business. I knew focused intensity over time was going to help create unstoppable momentum. As a man of faith, I also believe it's multiplied by God. But unstoppable momentum, if you want unstoppable momentum, just do focused intensity over time and you'll get it.
What do you do when there's a setback? What do you do when you get kicked in the teeth?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, first of all, listen, you and I spoke a little bit briefly about this. I'm stepping back into the broker position. I have not been in the broker position for 3 years of our business, and even before that, I was the broker, but I wasn't really leading the charge. I had a managing director for 7 years now. Unfortunately, I had to come to the point where we had to release him, and now I'm stepping back in that role. I think first of all, you have to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge it. I call it like you have to have your funeral. And I think that the more that you understand having this funeral, that funeral, I would say back in my younger years when as a person that wanted to be a great leader, um, my funeral would last a couple days. I needed to just soak in it. My funeral lasts one day now. I have all my resources. I know the people that I want to talk to. I know how I'm going to get it out. I go on a very nice long therapeutic run. I'm a runner now in my life. And
How far do you run?
well, this year we did a 52-miler trail run. We signed up for a 100 mile this last year, and then I turned 49 on last Friday. Did my first half Ironman. So
Half Ironman. That's impressive.
yeah, that was well. I have a really great mentor. This is why you have to have good mentors in your life, people that have done things and have been where you want to go, right?
Yeah.
He's 73 years old. He's done 13 Ironmans in his life. He started running Ironmans at the age of 50, and I said, okay,
Okay. There's hope
Robert.
for me then.
Yeah, I said, Robert, if you're going to do it, then I'm going to do it. So that's the age of 46. I made that commitment that the year that I'm 50, I will do an Ironman. So welcoming
Woo.
in my 49th birthday, I knew that I had to at least do a half Ironman. So we did that last Friday. So yeah.
Congratulations. The farthest I've gone is the Olympic, right? So that's for those of you not knowing that's about 25%, I
Uh,
think, of a half Ironman.
yep.
And an Ironman, just if you, in case you're wondering, just say, "Wow, that's a lot."
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You don't know how far 56 miles on a bike actually is. So it's a lot.
And that's the half, right?
That's the
So
half.
the
Yeah.
full one is 112 point
Yep.
something miles on a bike, right?
Yeah. And a full marathon too. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Oh,
pretty
and then
good.
what, you got to swim like a mile or 1.1
You have
miles
to,
or
you swim 2.4 miles. So yeah.
2.2? 2.2.
Is
Okay.
it two? Yeah. 2.2. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
it was 1 point.
2.2.
But going back, you have to, so going, when you have a setback, I really do believe that you have to sit in that, right? You have to sit in that. You have to acknowledge it. You have to, you like, it is okay to enjoy that funeral. It is okay to understand, like, this sucks. Get it all out, because if you don't get it all out, it is going to continue to manifest within you, deep within you. And then some point in another 6 months down the road, a year down the road, is going to come out in a form that you're not going to want it to come out. So for me, getting it out and recognizing it, it only allows me to move past it, right? There's a great visual. I want you to think about this. Every time that you have a setback, it's like basically taking an arrow, right? You take an arrow. There's a visual that I saw years ago about this old wolf and this young wolf. This young wolf is on the ground, bleeding out. It's got one arrow in him, and blood is all over the place. And then standing above it is this old, mature, seasoned wolf. And it has about 20 arrows into it. And I was like, that's it. The more arrows that I take, the more seasoned of a leader I'm going to be. The more arrows that I take, the more that I'm going to actually be able to speak life into others, that I'm going to challenge them to continue to show up. And I have to be congruent. So I'm going to take on those arrows. I'm going to face each and every one of them. I'm going to face what I call the Goliath. Face your Goliaths every single day. You will become a great leader.
I notice in the people that I have these conversations with, let me be transparent. When I first started doing the No Broke Months podcast, I did it for the purpose of providing entertainment and providing information for others. Within about my fourth episode, and we're at, like, I don't know, I have to ask Prince, we're at like 1,250 episodes, more than that. But by the before the seventh episode, I realized I wanted to change it from, instead of what I think other people are interested in, what am I interested in? Because I thought it would
Mhm.
be for a better show, and so what I recognize and I'm just going to say this because you'll probably not say it. You're a successful business owner. I just said it, so you don't have to debate that or acknowledge or anything whatsoever, right?
Mhm.
And when I interview successful business people, I find a commonality, which is that they have far more setbacks than successes.
Mhm.
I haven't met a single successful entrepreneur that has not had that experience ever.
Mhm.
And I've talked to some world-class people. Would you align with that statement, with that
Yeah.
observation?
I would say 100%. What you're seeing as wins and successes is the very small portion of what they've taken chances on. If you want to see the
Yeah.
track record, man, that's what, when they open up their track record and you see all the losses, all the setbacks, all the things that they've sacrificed for. John Maxwell talked about, he was at a private event with him a couple weeks ago. And one thing that was really cool is that he was talking about was like, people come up to him all the time. Hey, I want to do what you do. I want to do what you do. And his response to them, I thought, was just amazing. He goes, but are you willing to do what I did?
Yeah.
Are you willing to do what I did? And that just, when I'm around successful people, that's what I hear too. Is like, but here's what I had to sacrifice in order to do this. Here's all the things that I had to say no to. Here's all the things that I gave up. Here's all of the opportunities I said I wasn't going to pursue because I had that one thing that I was going to be pursued of. And so you can see how they've had to make those decisions, but also just, hey, they had a failure in this business. It didn't stop them from opening up that business. They had a failure and a setback in that business. It didn't stop them from pursuing that business again or reinventing that business. That's what we're doing. We're reinventing our real estate brokers right now because of the things that we've made a decision, and some of it has been setbacks that we've done. Some of it has been self setbacks that we didn't want. But regardless, we're moving forward.
You are a former professional baseball player
Mhm.
and you are an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
What lessons from professional sports translate most directly into entrepreneurship?
Um, I will say, so I was a pitcher. And I would say the one lesson that I've learned that I continue to incorporate in all of our businesses is that this is a team sport, but everybody has an individual responsibility. And so as I look at it, our team is only going to go as far as our weakest link, and I'm not going to be our weakest link, right? So as a pitcher, I'm going to get my job done. I'm going to go
Hmm.
out there. I'm going to know who I'm going to be facing. I'm going to be as conditioned and as I'm going to be mentally and physically prepared as I possibly can because I'm not going to let those other eight guys down behind me, right? And so in business, that's the same thing. When you are a part of a team and you have big goals, when you have audacious goals that you're going after, you have a vision for your company that you are a part of, you know that you play an integral part of that. And so people depend on you. So we're talking about this. They depend on you showing up and not just showing up. They depend on you to produce and to do the things that you've been committed to do, right? You've committed to do. And so whether it's in sports or whether it's in business, those same rules apply on both sides. And you see the really successful businesses, it's not because one individual person. Now they have one individual person that might be given the vision, right?
Sure.
That is always constantly pushing the vision, but the team alongside of that visionary is absolutely exceptional in what they're doing and their execution.
How do you find that you get the alignment between the visionary and the team members?
Yeah.
Is it that you're selecting the right people to be in business with? Is it that you're motivating them? Is it that you have a culture within the organizations that you lead? What to help me fill that gap in between? Here's a visionary. I want to do X. I want to create whatever the vision is.
Mhm.
And here's a group of people, and then transferring that group of people into a team of people. Talk us through that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think everything that you said is absolutely correct. You got to have culture. You got to have the right people, right? You got to have people that want to work, that you got to have people that want to continue to improve and get better and stuff like that. But I would say the ultimate, if there's one thing though that I would make sure that our team has is that every one of our team members' goals has to fit under our vision and our goals.
Mm,
Our goals have to be so big that everybody's goals fit inside of it.
sure.
Because if they don't, then why would they stay here? Why would they build? If their goals are on top of your goals and your goals are down here and they want to do the X and yours is at Y, like that's nobody's going to win at that, right? And so you as a visionary have to continue to push that envelope. You have to think so much bigger than you're thinking right now. There's a great 10x is easier than 2x. That's a great book to be
Yeah.
thinking about that, right? And be thinking like, okay, so if my goal is this, and if I 10x'd it, what are the things that we have to do now? Now does everybody's goals fit underneath it? That's when people will follow.
And another thing that, as you were speaking, that I wanted to share as well is the observation that a nine will never follow a seven.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right. So you
Yeah.
have to, as a leader, as the visionary, you got to be a nine or a 10. And for me, it's only, like like I'll never give myself a 10 in anything. Right. Maybe I'll get a 9.9 in some
Yeah.
subsections.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But for me, nine is pretty much the best grade I'm going to give myself
Yeah.
or anybody else. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Always room for
So
improvement.
yeah, absolutely, right? Because if you're a 10, then it's like I've arrived. There's nothing less to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
right? And so for my observation of that is if you're the leader, you really have got to be somebody who is developing yourself, who is able to develop others, who is mentally fit, physically fit, inspirationally fit, spiritually fit. The better in all these really, really important segments of your life that you can be as an individual, the more that you can inspire others to be the best versions of themselves.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I would say I think it all comes back to one word. And this was a word that I heard from Bedros Koulian about 3 or 4 years ago. I was in a I was at an event with him, and he said this word congruent. Are
Mm,
you congruent in your life? And that really just epitomized everything that I knew that I needed to become as a leader. I was going to be congruent. So no matter what, if the camera's on, you're going to see the same guy when the camera's off.
yeah.
All of those areas in my life where I'm asking you to be stepping into and improving, whether it's relationships and you're confronting a hard time in relationship with your spouse or a brother or sister or friend, whatever, like I'm going to be congruent and do the exact same things. When it comes to your health and being disciplined in your health, like all of those areas of your life, you as a leader, you don't have to be perfect in those, but you do have to continue to push yourself to excellence in those areas.
So you always have to be developing yourself. Yeah, you don't have to be the expert at every single thing, but you have to be able to be somebody that's leaning into your strengths, supplementing your weaknesses with others, and inspiring those people to be able to be the best versions of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Let's go back. Let's sort of like tie this around, go back to the beginning of what we talked about with burnout.
Yeah.
I want to finish out with burnout. Before we talk about that and we'll wrap things up. I mentioned in the introduction, I talked about the four pillars of business. I'll mention, and I said I would mention it. So I just want to, there's like no segue into that right now. But I do want to make sure I mention that and we'll go back to burnout. So the four pillars of building a consistent and predictable income business are to be able to believe in yourself. That's the foundation. So if you're imagining a building, that would be the basement. And then level number one would be to find business. That's lead generation. You can lead generate by networking, by marketing, by prospecting, and they all cost you something. Some cost you time, some cost you money. So if you remember, so belief is in the basement floor, and then the first floor is lead generation. The second floor would be to build an organization, and that's the support and the systems around you. And then finally, it's about leadership. So that would be the top floor of the building. So leadership is to be able to teach somebody else how to think so they can get what they want. And so to put all that back together for the listeners, it would be the ground level would be underneath would be belief. That's your foundation. On top of that is lead generation. That's floor one. Floor two would be organization building, and the pinnacle floor three would be leadership. So I wanted just to mention that because I didn't want to like say I'm going to say it and then not say it. Well, let's finish up with burnout. So
Good.
what have we not talked about burnout today that we should have talked about?
Yeah, well, let me give you three things that, if right now, if you are experiencing burnout, here's three things that you can recognize and actually implement, do in your life right now, right? Okay, so one is this, is that I really truly believe that happiness can be bought. Now, I'm not talking about joy. Let's be very like disciplined in the sense that joy is something completely different, right? Joy is everlasting. Joy is much longer, but happiness can be bought. If you are not experiencing happiness right now, I would just ask you to write down the 3 to 5 things that if you chose to do it today, if you had the financial means to do it, what would bring you happiness today? I'll give you a great example. I have two daughters, one 11 and one 13. I do have two sons as well, too, 16 and 18. But the daughters absolutely love to get ice cream after practices. So if I am not having a great day, and I know that I want to see joy, I want to see happiness on their face, a smile on their face, an appreciation from them. I'm gonna go buy them ice cream. I'm gonna buy them ice cream because that is happiness to them, which means happiness to me too, right? So if you have stuff in your life right now, then you know that you can purchase it. You can buy it without having any detrimental issues having to your finances. You can buy happiness as well too. So I want to encourage you this time of the year, buy yourself some happiness. That's number one. Other two is this right here is do not let anyone tie your laces if they've never walked a day in your shoes. Unfortunately, right now we have so many people that are listening in our heads. Like how many times does that happen at this part of the year, especially if you've had a bad year, you've had a challenging year, struggling year. You're probably having family members. You're probably having friends like, what are you doing in this industry? They don't like you're a real estate agent. Like that is like, oh, they're as worse as attorneys or car salesmen. Like if they have never walked a day in your shoe, do not listen to them. You cannot let them tie your shoe. Only take advice. I love this quote. Only take advice from people whose dreams for your life are bigger than yours. Only take advice from people whose dreams for your life are bigger than yours. So that's number two right there. Number three is this, and this is gonna be very controversial. So I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, Dan, but always hit the snooze button. Let me tell you why this is important.
I thought Donald Trump was going to come out of your mouth right when you said
Uh,
controversial. Like, oh my God, where are we going with this? That's a snooze button. I'll align with that. Let's do it.
Yeah, always hit the snooze
That's a
button. And
snooze
here's why I say this is so important. We know in our industry, just chaos happens all the time. If you've got closings that day, if you got inspections that day, an appraisal that day, if what it doesn't matter. You have not opened up your email inbox yet, so you have no idea how your day is going to unfold. If you want to win the day, hit the snooze button. And the reason why I think this is so important is because now you have controlled the first thing. You're not allowing the snooze button, you're not allowing the alarm to dictate your day. You know, you set the alarm and you're like, oh, I got to get up at 6 o'clock. Set the alarm for 5:45 and hit that snooze button one time. Tell me it doesn't feel good to say, nope, I'm not getting up yet. Right? And then when when it goes out the second time, you're like, yes, you actually controlled something that you had control over, which is awesome. So hitting the snooze button is such a good feeling. I do it every single morning, you guys, and I win my first thing out of the box. So those are the things that I
Joshua,
would highly, highly recommend.
I have to say how much I admire you because you took, and I'm blanking on the gentleman's name, the admiral who did the
Oh
speech
yeah,
about
yeah,
making your bed,
yeah,
the commencement speech. Do
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Do you remember
yeah,
his name?
yeah. Admiral McCrae.
McCrae.
Yeah.
So Admiral McCrae's advice was to, to conquer the day, make your bed.
Yes.
Joshua Kalinowski's advice is hit the snooze button. Either way, they're talking about controlling the first action. I like your way better than the Admiral's.
Love it, man. Yes.
Josh, how can I get in touch with you?
Yeah, buddy. Hey, listen, follow me on Instagram at Joshua D. Kalinowski. And I post a lot of content, not only just with real estate specifically. I do a series for all the Wyoming real estate agents that are out there. It probably is going to be relevant to you too, but it's specifically for Wyoming real estate agents. But then I also do a lot of things about health as well too. So just to make sure that you're physically fit, mentally fit, emotionally fit as well.
Well, listen, I admire you very much, and I know that you are a man of your word. You are congruent.
Thanks,
So
buddy.
thank you for your time today. Audience, thank you for your time today. Until next time, have the best day of your life. Be grateful, make good choices, go help somebody, and God bless you. We'll see you. Hey there, No Broke Months listener. I've got some exciting news. We just passed 375,000 downloads for the No Broke Months podcast, and I could not have done it without you. I am beyond grateful for every single listener who tunes in daily, takes action, and shares this journey with me. Now, let's take it a step further. If this podcast has helped you, imagine what it could do for another salesperson who might be struggling. Share the show with them. Let them know there's a way to create consistent and predictable income, because no salesperson should ever have another broke month again. And hey, while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a favorable review. Your support helps us reach even more salespeople who need this. Until the next episode, have the best day of your life. Be grateful, make good choices, go help someone, and share the show with a friend. God bless you.